Hey guys, Alejandro here. Let me show you very quickly all the stuff you can do here in my collection screen. So first of all, you can see that here is all of the figures of your collection. There are some filters here. You can search by only some figures, for example, Spider or maybe Cyclops, and you can like filter the figures there. You can also filter by line. Maybe you only want to see your GI Joe figures. I don't have any. You can filter them by status, like only grails, the ones that you have displayed, the ones you have in the storage, mint in box or loose. You can also do that. For example, the grails. What else? You can filter by rating. This rating is these stars that you see here, and I'm gonna show you how to add them in a minute. But you can also filter by rating, for example, all the 5 stars figures. You can filter them by group. You can add them to different groups. Like for example, I'm going to show you very quickly. I don't know. I have the Illuminati, the Dark Avengers, the X-Men, and I can use those groups to filter my figures. So I want to see only, for example, the Uncanny X-Force figures, and here they are. So that's sort of thing you can do. You can filter by buff figures, and custom figures. For example, I have a Norman Osborn custom figure that I made. So here is, and you can also filter like the buffs. I only have Demo Goblin, yeah. And then you can see again like all of the figures. You can change the pagination, like the default is 24 figures, but you can switch that to up to 96. I have less than 96 figures, so yeah, you can see all my figures here. Okay, so you can, as I said, you can order them by rating, by name, or by date you acquired them. Like for example, I'm gonna show them by the date I acquired them. This is the default selection. So you can do that, and you can also order them by name or by, I don't know, by rating, for example. And yeah, you can do that. And that's regarding the filters. Oh, and also you can archive figures, for example, that you don't care that much or that you're selling or something. So for example, you can see that I'm gonna remove this and put it by name. So you can see that I have Apocalypse, but I don't really care too much about it, so I have it archived. I have this other Cyclops that I archived when I got this one. I have this Doom, I don't know, this Iron Man. Like there's a lot of things that I have archived and that I don't care too much. So that's something that you can use like to identify the figures that you don't really care that much. You can also see a price guide, like this is how your figures value is calculated. You can see all your figures here. What was the acquisition price that you paid for that figure, the retail price, the current market value, and how much it has grown over the weeks. That's that. You can also again order them by growth, maybe. Yeah, the Green Goblin is the one that has grown the most. You can also change the pagination of these items. And here in the last tab, you can see an overview of your collection, like all the figures you have, how many grails, how many buff figures, how much you have spent on your figures, and how much your collection has grown in value over the weeks. The figures you own the most, like for example, Cyclops, Spider-Man, Wolverine. And this is a very basic stats about your last purchases, for example, last month purchases. And yeah, I got two, I think. Yeah, I got the Electra, Daredevil Electra, and Marvel Boy in the last month. So yeah, and this is the figure that is more valuable in my collection, the Love Triangle packaging. And if you want to archive figures, for example, all you gotta do is click this button here, and you can archive them. You can remove them from the current collection. You can update their acquisition price, how much you pay for it. You can also update when you get it. Maybe when you are adding all of the figures of your collection, when you use Join Legendsverse, you wanna update the acquisition date. You can mark them as grails, for example, and there's a very cool animation when you acquire a grail. Yeah, so you get some confetti there. I'm gonna remove it. You can add them to groups. You can add them to groups, like for example, I want to add it to the Dark Avengers. It's already there, but you can add them to different groups, and you can also add this rating that I just mentioned. When you go inside a figure, You can see like all the data of that figure, like for example, the acquisition date, how much you pay for it, if you have it displayed or in a, I don't know, in a storage, if it's in mint in box or loose. I haven't updated this for this figure. What's the figure or the set that it comes from, what weight, when was released, and the retail price. You can add notes like, for example, I don't know, let's say acquired at, I purchased at Big Bad Toy Store, for example. And you can have all these cool notes in your figures. Maybe I want to say like about loose, missing guns, for example. You can do like add any notes you want on your figures. You can see all the photos you have of that figure. In this case, I only have the one that I uploaded to it, and you can see all the groups it belongs to. And for example, I can add them to holds. Like for example, if I got a bunch of figures at the same time, I can create a hold that, I don't know, I got it on 8th of July of current year, and it's on that hold. And for example, I was saying that I also got Electra on that same day, so I can add it to that same hold, and you can see them like together in this place. Other very cool thing is that you can edit the name. Like maybe I just wanted to see this figure as Electra in my collection. And again, you can edit the acquisition date, acquisition price, the status displayed. This is loose and it's not accurate, so I will save the changes. And if I go to my collection, you can see that it's Electra now instead of Dark David Electra. And yeah, that's pretty much it on my collection. So let me know if you have any questions.